Camp Out for Camp Hammer. And my name is Eric, aka Mossy, and I'm going to be reporting for CH 1965 Camp Hammer News Network.
And my name is Crazen, aka Jenna, or Jenna, aka Crazen. And we will be your main anchors reporting for this amazing event. And we want to thank you for joining us for this wonderful evening.
Just a reminder, you can give donations towards Camp Hammer throughout this evening and into tomorrow, or really anytime you want to. We will give an update of the funds that we raise this evening tomorrow morning, so be staying tuned for the results as the night goes on.
And I think our colleague, Samara, aka Maraca, has some exciting news about what's happening on our social media. Over to you, Maraca, aka Samara.
Thank you so much, Crazen, aka Jenna, and Eric, aka Mossy. My name is Samara, like they said, aka Maraca, and I'm the new CH 1965 social media intern. I know, literally the coolest job ever. I am so stoked that I landed this job. Anyways, word on the street is that we are going to be dropping polls throughout the night on Instagram. I know Instagram is like basically my life, so it's the perfect place for us to drop these. Anyways, so if you want to know how to participate in these polls, all you're going to do is go to your Instagram app and you're going to go ahead and click on the Camp Hammer Instagram. Then you're going to watch the stories. Just go ahead and click through and you'll see that we'll have polls on there that you can participate in throughout the night. Our very first poll is going to be Best Cab Music Video Hits. So make sure to vote. We want to know what you think. Anyways, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Samara, aka Maraca. Before we even get ourselves going here, we have a special guest. The very own program director of Camp Hammer, Uku Hamba, is going to get the energy of the night going. So let's go ahead and welcome up Uku Hamba.
All right, everybody. So as you know, this time right now is exactly like a cab. And if you haven't been to the cab before, I'm so excited you guys are here because this is the very first cab that junior campers and people who aren't in junior high or high school camp get to go to. So for that, we have to do some warm up because we can't just jump right into screaming and yelling at people. With people, not at people. So in order to do that, I'm going to ask you guys to imagine with me that I'm standing on a number line. The number line goes from 0 right here to 10 right over here. So if you imagine this number line, that's our volume level. So right now, we're going to be at a 0. So a 0 is kind of like golf claps. I can't golf clap with one hand. But then we're going to build, and 2 is like snaps, and we're building up a little bit, building up a little bit. At 3, we might have a little woo. So if you guys want to do that with me, we're going to practice that again because I can't hear you, but I'm sure you're doing it. So a little golf claps, and we're building to some snaps. We're going to a little woo. And as you can imagine, the volume just builds from there. So we get louder cheers, louder claps, getting louder, 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 louder. And then at 10, it should be so loud that you can't hear it. So we're going to come back over. So do you guys think you can build with me a little bit? So we're going to go up to like 7 and come back down. And then we're going to go up to 9, come back down. And now are you guys ready? We're going to go all the way to 10 and then 5 minutes at 11. So I don't know how much you guys actually cheered because I am not magical, but I hope you're cheering a lot and I hope that you cheer throughout the night because we have some super awesome things for you. Back to you, Mossy and Crazen.
Thank you so much. I just want to say for all of us here reporting from CH 1965, Uku Hamba, we believe you are magical. All right.
Yes, we do.
As we head into our night, we're so excited. We have various acts coming to us from campers and past staff from all over, which is so exciting for us because as summer has looked so different, we're so grateful for all the different campers and families and past staff that are participating and joining us tonight as we are live at Camp Hammer. Jenna, what is one of the things you're most excited about for tonight?
Oh, well, you know what, Eric, aka Mossy, the cab is one of my favorite parts of Camp Hammers. I am so excited to see just what everyone else has to bring to it tonight, and specifically the dancing has to be my favorite.
I'm not surprised by that. I came to expect you to say dancing, but that's okay because dancing is so much fun. But before we even go into dancing or anything like that, we have a very special act to bring you as we kick off the night from our very own Chantel Gibbs, also known aka Wonder Woman, with a special song for all of you.
Hi guys, this is Wonder Woman here, and here's Wild Things by Alessia Cara. Love you, Camp Hammer. Find table space to say your social graces by your head. Their pie's here, but you and I, we're pioneers. We make our own rules, our own room. Nobody's here. Let them sell what they are selling there. Nobody's here. So gather all the rails now. We'll rebel rouse and sing aloud. We don't care what they say. No way, no way. We will leave our empty chairs to those who say we can't sit there. We're fine all by ourselves. So, we brought our drum and this is how we dance. No mistaking, we make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being. Find me where the wild things are. Find me where the wild things are. I lose my balance on these eggshells you tell me to tread. I'd rather be a wild one instead. Don't wanna hang around the in crowd. The cool kids aren't cool to me. They're not cooler than we are. So we brought our drum and this is how we dance. No mistaking, we make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being. Find me where the wild things are. La 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 la. Find me where the wild things are. So, we brought our drum and this is how we dance. No mistaking, we make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being. Find me where the wild things are. La 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 la. Find me where the wild things are.
Wow. Well, Jenna, aka Crazen, as you can see, sometimes things are extra special. In a time of, well, you might say a pandemic, things can be kind of upside down. And so
Absolutely.
Even with when we go live and have these videos, we're going to be working on that to make sure we're not all flipped upside down for the rest of the evening. But one of the things that's so special about it is that Wonder Woman has worked as a staff member at Camp Hammer for so many summers. I want to say even close to 6. She's served in so many various ways. She's come up, and for many campers, Wonder Woman has been a speaker at camp. Let's see, she's been involved in some retreats. Do you recall which one she's been a part of?
I believe Chantal, aka Wonder Woman, has led worship for various mother-daughter retreat and women's getaway, and has stayed close and connected to so many friends of Camp Hammer for so long. So she is definitely a part of the Camp Hammer family and a very cherished member of that.
For sure. And I recall, something special about that song that she just did is actually when she worked up here, her last summer working here, when we would kick off the cab every single week, as the kids would enter into DK Hall, she would be singing that song live. So what a special treat to have her send us in, her singing that song in the time where she is living somewhere else, but sharing with us, which is so very, very special. I know for this next part coming up here, I'm going to need another mic, one that doesn't have a cable attached to it. So I don't know if someone in the back would be able to get that to me. That would, just setting it up here would be awesome.
And you know what? That last video, Wonder Woman's song, that song always makes me want to dance. And you know what, Eric, aka Mossy, I hear, and I think I know, specifically in summer, you also like to dance. So would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I feel a little caught off guard here.
But
I mean, I could, I guess. Hold on one second.
I mean, more power to you. And I think I recall this just in. I think it was called Mornings with Mossy during the summer.
Well, yes, of course. I remember Mornings with Mossy have been a special time for me. And throughout this time, there's been some videos of that. And then in the mornings with campers, I get the chance to spend time waking them up. And little secret here is it's for the campers, but it's also to wake up my staff, because sometimes they're a little tired also. But I want to share with you guys, throughout the night, there's going to be some dancing. And a lot of times people feel like, oh, I don't want to dance. Or you might be in your backyard or your living room, or maybe you're a 13-year-old and your mom is sitting next to you right now, and you're like, I'm not going to show my mom how to dance. And your mom's like, I love to dance. And you're like, Mom, come on, my friends are right there. Who knows? But I want to tell you a little story of when I was in junior high. When I was in junior high, I was a little nervous going into junior high, but there was one thing I was excited for, and that was for school dances. I had never been to a school dance. I was so excited to go to the school dance. So the very first school dance came along, and I got so excited that Friday I went home, and I was so excited because I love to dance. I had danced a lot. I loved dancing with my mom at weddings. And I knew exactly how I would dance with everyone. And so I would set myself up and think about someday when I dance with others, it'll be so special. So I went home on a Friday to get ready. And when I went to get ready, I went into the bathroom and I was so excited to get my hair ready. I had a special way in which doing my hair. I would go into the bathroom vanity, and the left-hand side was designated for my brother and my stuff, like deodorant. Wasn't sure if I should wear it yet, but my mom always told me I needed to. So I used some deodorant, and then I got my hair ready. And we had this stuff called Dep, and it was in this big, weird jar that was like pink or blue, and you unscrew the top of it, and then I would take my fingers and just dip into the Dep and just go and then plaster it to my hair and part my hair on the side. And then I would hold the front and make the perfect kind of wave and it would just fold over my brow. And then I got myself ready for the dance by putting on my plaid button-up short sleeve shirt, pink with teal blue, plaid all through it, white pleated chino pants pegged at the bottom, and put on, now they call them old school Vans, but I just had some navy blue Vans, lace-ups that I put on, and then I headed to the dance. And just like all my 7th grade friends, when I showed up to the dance, I went straight to the bleachers, and I went and sat up in the bleachers with my friends, and we sat there, and we watched everyone dancing. And at the school where I went to a school in Santa Cruz where the mascot was the bee, and the coolest of cool girls at our school was straight from like an old movie. It was the cheerleaders, the 8th grade cheerleaders. And they were like so cool, so cute, so popular. And the only boys that would be dancing with them out on the dance floor were like the 8th grade basketball players. I mean, they had the best moves. I don't know what it was. The girls would be dancing around, and we would just watch as the 8th grade boys would just hop around. We thought it was crazy. And we'd watch, and we were watching the dance, and there was like the chaperone. And I don't know how he got the job, but he would hold the like strobe light, and he would just move it around, like pointing it at different people. And in the middle of our gymnasium, there was the disco ball spinning. And out in the middle of the floor was where all the 8th grade cheerleaders would dance, and the basketball guys would be around them dancing. And suddenly during the dance, while my friends and I are up in the bleachers just talking, it was as if the spotlight kind of fell over and moved its way towards the bleachers. And there was this girl named Mia. And Mia was the captain of the cheer squad. And she started walking towards the bleachers. And as she walked towards the bleachers, my friends and I are like, huh? And she came up to the base of the bleachers. She kind of like popped out her hip and pointed her finger. And she looked at me and said, "You want to dance?" And I said, "Sure." And I made my way down to the dance floor, all my friends watching. And I went and I stood there in the middle of the dance floor, and she stood there kind of with her hips still popped out. And I just put up my hands and offered her to dance. And I still remember it was like so perfect. And then she stared at me, she pointed, she looked at her friends, and she went, "Ha ha ha, what are you doing? What is he doing? Look at him, look at him." And I just went, "Ah!" And I ran to the boys' locker room, and all of my 7th grade friends that were in the bleachers ran to the locker room with me. They're like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I don't know. She's so mean. She's the meanest person I've ever met." And then I left the dance, a little humiliated, bummed out because I didn't get a chance to dance, and I was a good dancer. So the next dance would be coming up. And I was allowed, I would sometimes do my homework and watch television, sometimes watch the news. I like the news. I'd be doing homework, and every once in a while, I would change the channel. There was this one show that I really watched and thought it was so fun called Good Times. And there's this one episode where there's this one character named Rerun, and his buddies are talking to him, and in this one moment, they say, "Hey, Rerun, how's your day going?" And he responds and says, "Oh, it's dynamite." And then he goes into this dance. And when I was watching the television, I knew right away, that is my dance. That's the dance I need to learn. And so I take it upon myself, and I'm like, I need to learn that dance. And so I practiced, and I practiced. And sometime around Halloween, the second dance came. And so I went home to get ready for the dance on a Friday. And it happened that my sister wasn't around because my sister was a cheerleader and she was in high school. And so she wasn't around. And on the right side of the vanity of the bathroom that we all shared was like her hair products and everything she used to make her permed hair look the way it did and to wave out her curls as a cheerleader and her bangs and throwing on her banana clip and all that crazy stuff. But I decided that that right side with all that hair product and everything else in it was for me to use to get ready for the dance. So I went and got my pink and teal blue button-up shirt on, my white chino pants pegged. My mom even starched them for me, which made them just stiff. Threw on deodorant right away. I kind of had learned I needed it by then. Put on my Vans, went into the bathroom to get ready, and I pulled out this giant 33% more Aquanet hairspray, and then the giant bottle of Depth that I used regularly. And then I chose to pull out there was mousse, that was this foamy, crispy stuff. And then I pulled out her hair dryer. And she had this weird comb thing, like dome that went on it. It's now I've learned is called a diffuser. And I don't know what it does. It's kind of like a monster. So I wanted to use it because it looked like it was from outer space. And I took the gel and I dipped in the depth. And I used both hands this time. And I put it all over, parted my hair, got that blow dryer, dried my hair, then took a little bit of the mousse, foamed it up, got it where it might like get a little out of place, making the perfect helmet for going to a dance. And then I took that aerosol and I sprayed it, and I sprayed it more. And then I took that hairdryer and I held my hands on the wave. And I just let the hairdryer hold it and dry it and make it into a crispy casting of hair where it perfectly dropped over the brow. And I was ready for the dance. And so I go to the dance, and right away I go and hang out with my 7th grade friends up to the bleachers. We're hanging out up there, we're talking, and it was nice. My friends didn't really mention what happened at the last dance. I mean, they did kind of, but they were really careful because they knew like they didn't want to be the guy that had that happen to them. But we watched the dance and we saw the 8th grade cheerleaders dancing. I could see Mia out there and all the 8th grade basketball players dancing around. And there was this one part in the night. This old song, Lady in Red, came on. And it was as if this time the spotlight turned and faced the bleachers. And I suddenly stood up and I walked my way down the bleachers. And my friends were like, "What's he doing?" And I made my way out to the middle of the dance floor. And Mia was standing there and she kind of stared at me and popped her hip out. And I looked at her, and in my strongest 7th grade voice, I cleared my throat and I pointed my finger at her and I said, "You want to dance?" She was like, "Oh, sure." So she stood there with her hip kind of popped out, and I came up close to her, and then all of a sudden I just started dancing, swinging my arms and making my legs fly back and forth every which way, spinning around her. And the whole time she was kind of like a fish that had just been caught, thrown on the deck. She was like, "Oh." And then I looked at her and I went, "Ah." And I ran to the boys' locker room. My friends all ran to the locker room. They were like, "That was awesome. How'd you learn to do that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just something I picked up." But as we're going through the night, there's going to be moments when there's a dance party. And when we have a dance party, this is the thing. Wherever you are, we want you to dance. Whether you are old or young, whether you have been a camper before or it's your first time even seeing my face or meeting any of us, dance parties are amazing. Being able to have fun and hang out and dance, whoever you are, whatever your situation, we want you to enjoy moving with us. And so I'm going to teach you the dance. And if you're kind of going like, "I don't know if I want to try it," so let me explain this little secret I have for you. If ever you're nervous dancing around people, no matter who you are, any of our staff members from previous years, if you're like, "I never liked the dance parties," I'm going to tell you a secret right now that you might have forgotten. All you have to do when it's time to dance is you just got to tilt your head up, close your eyes, and then you just kind of stick your tongue to the right side of your mouth. And then if you keep your eyes closed and your tongue to the right side of your mouth with your head tilted up, no one can see you. And you just kind of move. And it's so fun. But to help you out even further, I want to teach you guys the dynamite dance so that you can bring it into your night. And whenever we're dancing, you can dance the dynamite dance, or at least let it be something that you can try. And then you can move into doing whatever dance moves you want to do to express yourself tonight. Because there's going to be a lot of fun and dancing tonight. So I'm going to teach you guys this right now. I'll hold the mic, but I'll try to show you how it's done. Okay, so you stand, and then you're going to take both your hands and put them right in front of you, just like this. And then you have your thumbs up, and you go with the right, left, right, left. Okay? And so you just go 1, 1, 2, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2. So we got the hands now. So now we're gonna do the down at your legs. So anytime my hands are in, my knees are in. All right. So we have, when your hands are in, knees are in, and then when you go out, your knees go out. So you go 1, 1, 2, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2. So here's the thing. This can be done anywhere. You might be in a crowded backyard, but you've been able to figure out, how do we space ourselves out? Because you'll see us dancing tonight. We'll be spaced out a little bit in proximity, not in our thoughts, but like in our space. So while we're doing that, however you want to do this. So even if you were in a crowded concert, you could do the dance moves. You can kind of hold it tight together. And if you were at some, I don't know, what concert you might be at, but whoever it might be, you could do real tied up like this. 1, 2, you kind of move it quick, or you move it slow. Or you might be at a fun dance party, what's going to be happening later, and you want to show some of your skills a little bit. So you can kind of go like this to start with, and you kind of keep it slow. And then as you're going, you can bring it real low. And you can kind of go way, way low. And you can bring it all the way down. And then you can bring it all the way up. And in that, you can also add a turn. So you can arch your back a little bit and then spin all the way around. And you just keep going. And the crazy thing is, you can be any age to do this. If you are 2, you can even wobble, wiggle all around. If you are 75, 80, you can wobble, wiggle all around. Whoever you are, you bring it to a wedding reception, you bring it wherever you're at, bring it to your junior high dance. Do the dynamite dance, and I tell you this, close your eyes, tilt your head up, put your tongue to the right side of your mouth, and just go for it. And we're gonna have a blast together. So there's the dynamite dance. I hope you'll join in and have a blast with us tonight.
Wow, Eric, aka Mossy, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing those dance moves with us. We hope that you would join us in our dance parties tonight and show your friends and family some fun moves. Am I right? And if I'm not mistaken, I think that our colleague, who will introduce himself in just a moment, is going to introduce our very first act of our Camp Out for Camp Hammer virtual cab. Over to you, Tyler, aka Shimmy.
That's right. Thank you for the introduction, Jenna, aka Crazen. My name is Tyler, aka Shimmy, and I am the meteorologist for this evening. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Wow, we got some big pressures building up here. We're going crazy with the lows. We're going crazy with the highs. We are all over the map with this. With these pressures going on, and we got some really good hype coming up in spirit coming for you right now. We got our first act. It's something amazing and fun. It's by a family called the Couchmans, and they have a dance for us here. And so I'm just gonna kick it on over to you, Ukwahamba.
Hi, my name's Jason, and that's my brother Josh. And we're going to be dancing to Go Go Joe from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
that was such a wonderful dance. It made me want to put on my dancing shoes.
Oh, that was incredible. I loved every single moment of it. I can't believe how tall they have gotten. I haven't seen them for quite a while, but man, it is like they're sprouting like not, let's say, green beans, not weeds.
Yeah, okay.
Green beans.
Yeah, that
I hear
makes
they're
sense.
growing these days.
Lots of people have gardens these days, I hear.
So, Jenna, aka Crazen, do you have a garden?
Yes. I do, in fact, and it is producing so many vegetables right now, but unfortunately green beans are not one, so I don't know if I can fully testify to the green bean theory.
What seems to be the vegetable that is kind of at the top of your list growing this time?
Oh man, our broccoli is thriving. Yes, it took a long time, and that broccoli, I tell you, man, it sprouts very quickly. So maybe you might say they're growing like broccoli.
Would you say the tops of your broccoli are like fuller than the curls that have grown on the top of Ryan, aka Crikey, your husband's head?
You know, I don't know.
Something to check out at another time.
Something for me to observe, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely something to observe. All right. Well, right now we have one of the most unique videos that I have actually ever seen in the history of Camp Hammer.
Wow.
And from what I understand, it stretches for quite some ways back, all the way to 1971.
Wow, that's almost to 1965.
That's true. That is true. Yes, that was quick math there.
Yes, thank
I
you.
am quite impressed.
Thank you.
Jenna, aka Crazen. So right now, as we move into this next video, I am so excited. And as we watch it, I hope that you can grab hold of the many, many unique people that have been a part of the program leaders of Camp Hammer. So let's take a look at it right now.
I think we should. Ukuhamba, over to you.
Oh man, it's such a mess in here. I'm never gonna be able to find that costume. No. 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 I'm gonna call Saza.
Hey, Uku. Yeah, no, it's Saza. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, yeah. No, you know what? I could never find that either. Let me call Liger. Yeah, no, see you later. Yo, Liger.
Oh, my phone. Shoot. Hello? Hello? Oh, hey, Saza. Dude, it's so great to hear from you. Dude, I am so excited to see everyone tomorrow night at the Camp Hammer campout. It is going to be so awesome to just be together. You know, everyone, all of us together. Oh, yeah, no, I was totally kidding. I definitely haven't driven 11 hours from Oregon to get to camp. I'm not almost there. So, yeah, that shouldn't be a big deal at all to not be together, because I was kidding. But yeah, that thing, you know, I haven't seen it. I can't remember the last time I did see it. So, you know what? I'll just give Bravo a call. All right, man. Yeah, definitely not going to see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
I miss it so much.
Oh. Hello? Who's this? Oh, Liger. From Camp Hammer. Yeah, Camp Hammer, man. Yeah, I almost forgot about that place. Yeah, I don't miss it at all. Oh, yeah? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Gosh, I have no idea where that is. I'm sorry, I can't remember where that went. But you know who might know? Horton. Yeah, Horton. Let me call Horton, okay? Just a second.
Oh my gosh! There it is, the bomb. I gotta defuse this thing. Oh man, I don't have that much time. I'm gonna cut the green wire, copper wire, the blue wire, the red. There's so many wires! Which wire do I cut? Hey, it's Bravo. Hey man, how's it going? No, I have no idea where it went. I was looking at that thing forever, yeah. Uh-huh. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call Jeannie.
Bungie.
Okay, yep. All right, yep. All right, bye.
Horton. Bungie here. Hey, Horton. How's it going? You're defusing a bomb? Wow, what different worlds we live in. I'm checking on the Chardonnay grape harvest. What can I do for you? Yeah. Always difficult to find. I don't know. Oh, wait. Let me call Morris in Bermuda.
Bungie, it is so good to hear your voice. How are you? What are we up to? Berm and me? Oh, pretty much what we do every day. Just looking at old Camp Hammer pictures, carrying around our clipboards, and telling stories about summers past. Yeah, that's about it. Did I hear you right? Are you asking if we know where that old thing might be? Let me ask Berm. Hey, Bermuda, do you know where that old thing might be?
Mo, do you mean that thing that you're thinking about right now? That thing that I'm using my twin telepathy to see?
Yeah, that old thing. Any idea where that could be? Bungie wants to know.
No clue. But do you remember that night back in 1990 when Haji...
Not now, Berm. Bungie, we're going to have to call Bazooka. We will get back to you.
Is this what you're looking for?
That's right, Bazooka. That monkey costume has been around since my day. Mountain Monkey's the name. 1971 to 1982. I'm glad to see that generation after generation has enjoyed that fine costume. You know, and another thing that's been passed on is that this camp still loves kids. Just like it did so many years ago. The love of Jesus shines bright in this place. Yes, this place that was dedicated to the glory of God. Keep on loving those kids for the sake of Christ.
Wow, welcome back. That was an incredible video. You're right. So much Camp Hammer program director history in one video. You know, I remember Liger was the program director here my very first summer as a camper in 2006. And I actually recall, do you remember the fish hook? Way back when? Yeah, that was terrifying. And I actually recall, and I don't know if this was a pattern, but Liger counted 1, 2 and pushed me off instead of counting to 1, 2, 3. So thank you, Liger, for that memorable experience.
The stories that camp directors aren't told about their program directors from campers that, well, you're fortunate, Liger. Anyways, it's interesting. So many of those camp directors I knew, when I worked here in 1995, actually Bungie was the person helping run all the program. And man, talk about a dynamic, amazing, creative person. It's one of the reasons one of our Fanoos is actually named Bungie, because she is legendary. I also, strangely enough, grew up with Morris and Bermuda, those twins with great twin power. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It was incredible. I was quite impressed. But when I was growing up with them, we would play volleyball together. And they were so good at learning volleyball. And it was fun to watch how they would, sometimes they could, you had to pay attention to what color their volleyball shorts were, because you wouldn't know who you were actually playing with. So it made it quite complicated, but always so much fun. Probably one of the people that I never had the chance to work with, but I've heard stories that get muffled. They don't always say the full story, was someone by the name of Bazooka. I've heard he's gone on to be a pastor, which is amazing, because amazing. What a fun guy.
That's what I hear as well.
I can't imagine how sweaty he was in the gorilla outfit, but I'm sure that he at least lost any of those COVID-19 pounds he put on. Man. It's an interesting time for us all. So, as we move on into the rest of the night, we have some exciting things to come. I'm not surprised that these program directors really put into it what being a program director looks like. As we saw, Horton quickly threw on a program costume. I believe it might have been, I'm not sure where he got that tight black shirt, but it was quite interesting to have him go. I hope his neighbors weren't too upset that he climbed into their gutter behind their beautiful bush to film what looks like maybe a potato with, I'm going to say, just some of the wires from his car plugged into it with his phone. But I imagine amazing. Actually, because Bravo is married to a past staff member named Schmappy, that Schmappy took a spray bottle, sprayed his face with tears, and then they probably had, I'm going to guess, knowing Bravo, I'm going to go as much as 19 takes of spraying his face with a mist bottle to film him recording that, because they are all so amazing as people and as program leaders. They fully love this place, love Camp Hammer. And I think ultimately the last part where we hear from one, before I say this part, you mentioned Liger. What was so interesting, if anyone noticed, I really hope he was careful, because he might be driving a little fast in a residential area. But thank you for that video.
Yes, and I wonder, if I had this cross my mind after you mentioned gardens, Eric, aka Mossy. I wonder if Horton's potato bomb, if his potato came from a garden, potentially.
I believe, Crazen, that most potatoes do come from gardens.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I think I should specify here, since we're live and people can't read my mind. That's a good reminder. Maybe it's from his own personal garden that he maybe started during COVID-19, which was a very popular hobby that people picked up, including myself. So, and potatoes have been on my list to grow. So I'm curious.
He did marry the past Snack Shack manager, Sugar, so it's possible that they have their own garden. I don't know how those are connected.
I don't either.
But I think there could be a connection there. One of the things that I was really grateful for is the amazing hair growth remedy that good old mountain monkey put on his face to film that last part of the video, because he clearly grows facial hair faster than any person I know.
Wow.
And the words that he spoke, though, are so true in a serious note, that Camp Hammer is a place that continues to love campers and share Jesus with them. And we're so glad it's here, and we are grateful for all of you that it will continue to be here for many, many generations to come.
Yes.
Right now, though, we have another awesome opportunity to hear from one of our regular campers that come here to Camp Hammer. And I still remember to this day as many staff that work this summer that this camper first did an act in the cab live here at Camp Hammer. When she was quite young, you might think of her as maybe timid, or it's so kind, so sweet, such an amazing person.
Very kind.
And I remember sitting in the cab, hoping in the back, I was praying. I'm like, oh God, please help this go well. I really want it to be a great experience. Had never heard this camper sing before. And all of a sudden, blown away, she sings a Taylor Swift song, and the entire room is going bonkers. I mean, so crazy. They were blown out of their seats. There's no seats in here during the cab, so they were blown off the carpet, up into somersaults, took to their feet, cheering as loud as they could for her. So wherever you are right now, after we hear this special song, I hope you'll get to your feet, and we're going to take it to a 10 to cheer on the amazing camper, Bella Dunbar. Let's hear her song now.
Dear Theodosia, how to say to you, sometime last night your mother breathed your name, and like a flame that flickers out too soon, she died, she's gone. She dedicated every day to you. She changed my life. She made my life worthwhile. When you smile, I know part of her lives on. I know I can't go on. You've come of age with our young nation. We bleed and fight for you. Sometimes it seems that's all we do. And you and I will build a strong foundation. And I'll be here for you. The way's clear for you to blow us all away. Someday, blow us all away. Someday, blow us all away. Someday.
What's up, guys? It's me, Samara, aka Maraca, the social media intern, and I'm here with Nugget, my pet. I think it's so cool that I have a work environment where I can bring my pet to work. I mean, come on. coolest job ever anyways. So I'm just here to remind you guys that we still have that poll for the best cab music video hits up on our Instagram, and we need you to vote like right now. So just go ahead and go back on our Instagram, go to the stories, and then click on the story, and then go ahead and vote, because we are dying, like actually dying to know what you guys think. So yeah, that's my update for you. All right, see you later.
Oh, thank you so much, Samara, aka Maraca. And speaking of updates, you can still go to camphammer.com or to our Fundly page or any of those things, and you can still donate to Camp Out for Camp Hammer, and that will be going all through the evening. How wonderful and beautiful was that song by Bella Dunbar? That was really wonderful and so special that we got to see that, and such a gift during our virtual cab. So thank you, Bella Dunbar, for submitting that video. And right now, I believe that Tyler, aka Shimmy, has something to report. Over to you, Tyler, aka Shimmy.
Thank you very much. I predict very awesome and very scientific things are about to happen in the worlds of meteorologies. We got a bunch of pressure brewing, and you guys are gonna wanna be here for this. We are gonna have our very own Camp Hammer dance battle right here. We have asked 2 of our past summer campers to submit videos of their dancing that we are gonna have them virtually battle over the airwaves and sine waves and Wi-Fi waves. And they are gonna battle against each other. It's gonna be a perfect storm, kind of like that movie way back when, where you have music, you have dancing, and you got campers who are hyped. So I'm gonna be super hyped. I hope you all are gonna be super hyped along with me and cheer them on from where you at. And Ian, maybe you might learn a dance. Maybe you could try it. We'll see. So Ukuhamba, why don't you roll it?
If you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy?
Do that on your Instagram story and on the poll. You can go ahead and tally your mark and vote. And then, you know, those dances got me so inspired, made me want to try it out. So why don't you all at home get up on your feet? We're gonna play some music, and we're all gonna have a big dance party, and it's gonna be great. So come on up, get up on your feet, and we're gonna do the dance party. Hit it, DJ Ukuhamba.
I wanna have some fun. I wanna have some fun. Fun, fun, fun. as I've never been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. No apologies, he'll never see you cry. Pretends he doesn't know that he's the reason why you drown. That's all you'd ever hear me say. But since you've been
Wow.
Wow is right, man. I felt like Jane Fonda 1981 out there on the dance floor, I gotta tell you that.
Wow. I don't know what that's like because I was not alive. But I could say that I maybe felt like, I don't know, Jay Biebs. And I know he's making a comeback, but also when I was 14 and, I don't know, I can't do that quick of math, Eric, but
No
it was a
worries.
good time.
I can tell you there are similar people. So as long as you know that, with leg warmers and
Great.
leotards, we've got a dance
Okay.
troupe going on. Wow, that was incredible. You know, something else that is quite incredible here at Camp Hammer is so often we don't fully know what it looks like living at Camp Hammer.
Very true. That is a mystery
Although
for
I
many.
do know you're growing broccoli.
I am growing broccoli,
Are you
among
grow-
other things.
Other things. What would other things be?
Well, the next one that I'll reveal is a squash.
Oh, squash.
Yes, yellow, to be precise.
Yellow. So, if I am correct, difference between the green squash and the yellow squash is if you're ever trying to blow up a water balloon that are oftentimes very small, and you blow into the balloon, it becomes a very weird shape of a gourd-looking vegetable, which then ends up looking like the yellow squash. But if you were making
If it's yellow
animal,
balloon, yes, quite.
like
Yes.
clown animal balloons,
Oh,
that's more
yes.
like the green squash. So yellow squash is like water balloons, and green squash is like circus clown balloon making.
I think that would be correct.
Balloons. I know there's a science to it, but I'm not sure what that science is, other than a lot of people growing gardens this time of year. But you know, back to Camp Hammer Livin', I think we have a little video to share with all of you.
Yes, we do. Ukuhamba, take
What's up, everyone? It's your boy Crikey. Just here to show you Camp Hammer Livin'. So follow me and let's take a look. Having difficulty. Might be out of gas. I'll be back with some gas. A little gas goes a long way. All right, follow me. We're coming up here. We're gonna show you my lounge area and my wardrobe, because you know I'm very fashionable, so got a lot of clothes. But so here we got the lounge. Here's the pool table. It's not an actual pool for swimming. It's where I juggle. You know, most of the time I'm in here and juggle, and then when I'm done, you just put them in these pockets. Over here I got another fridge, mostly for it's mostly empty. I got my ice cubes. And then in the fridge we got my water. Yeah, over here is my lounging area. Got all my couches. This is where I sit with my friends. Got Tango, Rafty, and Uni over there. But yeah, this is where I hang out a lot. You can read. Over here we got a foosball table. I'm not really good at it. I don't know how to really play. I don't know why they're on these poles, because I like can't get the ball. Like, what's the point of that? Over here, got the ping pong table. This is where I am most of the time. So, you know, you just you got a paddle and a ball. That's all you need. You gotta do some long smashes.
AKA Crikey, AKA your husband.
Yes, I didn't know that he spent so much time with his friends in the Camp Hammer Lounge.
I think the real question is, have you met all of those friends?
I think they're new friends as of, maybe March. Different kind of friends.
I really appreciate the value that amongst such unique stuffed plush friends that Ryan, aka Crikey, in his Camp Hammer living, keeps that social distancing even amongst those friends.
Yes.
Quite impressed. Quite a practice. Indeed. I also, he's got quite the ride.
Yeah, I think it's new, considering that I don't know how much gas he knows how to fill it with. I like how many gallons, it takes. Is it 8 gallons? Is it 10 gallons? We haven't figured that out yet.
3 gallons, 5 gallons. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't drive those.
But once he got it going, he sure got it going.
That's for sure.
Problem
solver, he is.
Problem solver and a plethora of friends. I'm not sure how many a plethora is, but from what I could tell, he had 3 plus you. All right. So moving on, we have right now a very, very classic special treat.
Indeed.
Brought to us from some very special past campers.
Yes.
We have the classic egg skit performed by some Apostle High School campers.
I can't wait.
Social distance egg skit, take 1.
I'm hungry. What should I make? Oh, I know. Eggs! I just realized I don't even like eggs. Maybe one of my friends will want them. Beep, beep, beep. Hello? Nathan, do you like eggs?
Eggs? I love eggs.
I'll put some on a plate for you. Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. Good thing I always travel with my fork. Oh, hold on. These are really good. Hey, you didn't happen to put eggs in these eggs, did you?
Yeah, there are eggs in the eggs.
Wait, but I'm allergic to eggs.
Nathan, what do I do? Okay, if stop, drop, and roll doesn't work, I call 911. That's it. Beep, beep, beep. Hello? Yes. So I have an emergency. There's someone on the ground. They're not getting up. I think it was eggs. Please help.
Wee woo, wee woo. Oh no, that guy needs my help. Here, take some of this.
Cut! First off, you are all in different places, so you don't need masks. And second of all, try it sophisticated.
It has just occurred to me. I have a disdain for eggs. Maybe one of my business acquaintances will like them. Beep, 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 beep.
Hello.
Would you care for some eggs?
Well, I would be delighted to have some eggs. Thank you for asking.
I'll plate some and get them to you right away. As a last touch, my infamous rosemary garnish. Here you go. Here are your eggs.
Ah, thank you. Of course, I always carry silverware on me. These eggs are absolutely splendid.
Hey, you didn't happen to put any garnish on it, like a rosemary?
Yes, I did in fact put rosemary in.
Wait, but I'm allergic to rosemary.
Oh no. Are you okay? Hello? Beep 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 911? Yes. My emergency is someone ate rosemary.
Woo-wee, woo-wee, woo-wee. Looks like you got yourself into quite a predicament. Here, apply some of this antibacterial spread to your wound. Should help.
Yes, hand sanitizer. The perfect antidote to my predicament.
Great job, you guys. You all did really well. You might even be in the lineup for the Camp Out for Camp Hammer. Toodaloo.
Hey guys, oh, that video was excellent. Oh my goodness, I was just obsessed from start to finish. Basically, that's gonna be my new obsession is egg skits. That was fantastic. Anyways, I'm here to update you on those super dope polls that we have up on our Instagram right now. So for our first poll that we had up between One Direction and Bye Bye Bye, the winner was One Direction. And then between Shake It Off and Wish You Were Here, the winner was Shake It Off. So make sure to hop back onto IG and double check what our polls are, because we've got a new poll between One Direction and Shake It Off. So for our official winner for the Camp Hammer music video best hits. So you want to make sure to vote for that one. But guess what? I know you're not going to guess, but I'm going to tell you. So we also have a new poll because we had the dance battle, and for the first time in Camp Hammer history, there was a tie. So what we want to do is have you guys vote for who gets pied in the face, right? So if you want to participate in who gets a pie in the face by themselves, because we're not spreading infection, thank you. But if you want to see who gets a pie in the face and you want to choose, just go ahead and hop back on the IG and vote. That's all I have for you now. I'm going to throw it on back to my friends over here, Eric, aka Mossy, and Jenna, aka Crazen. All right, see you later.
Thank you, Samara, aka Maraca. I am excited. I don't know about you, Eric, but I'm excited to see the outcomes of these polls tonight.
I am too. It'll either be you'll have to just shake it off, or I might just say bye, bye, bye.
I think I feel similarly. Well, you know, that has me thinking. Back to, I've been kind of thinking about our conversation about Ryan, aka Crikey's friends and Camp Hammer living in. And I wondered to myself, you know, oftentimes our schedules, I'm working the weekends, he doesn't work the weekends. And I wonder, you know, do you think he's maybe like explored or been hanging out in other parts of camp or been showing people around, or I don't know. I just wonder, like, what else has he been occupying his time with during the shelter in place, you know, unique time here at Camp Hammer?
I've wondered if his vehicle rides 2 passengers or only 1, and if he has ever taken you out on a date on that amazing vehicle or given his giraffe a ride.
No, I cannot say he's taken me on a ride on that vehicle. Maybe we should look up what that's called at some point, because it is still a mystery to me. And we should really figure out how many gallons of gas that takes, because we really should avoid that problem next time. But no, I can't say, and neither do I know if he's taken a plush friend on a joyride either.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know the brand, but I believe they call it a riding lawnmower.
A lawnmower. Who would have thought?
I know. It's amazing what thoughts run through our minds while we're live with Camp Out for Camp Hammer, isn't it, Jenna, aka Crazen?
Wow, yes. Wow. Interesting is one way to put it.
And it is not surprising to me that your thoughts are constantly on your hubby. All right, Crazen, what next?
Well, funny you ask. It must be a coincidence that we were just talking about Camp Hammer Livin', because this just in, there is actually a part 2. So I think we're ready for that, Ukuhamba. Over to you.
I'll show you over here where my wardrobe room is. My wardrobe. Lots of outfits in here. So yeah, I like a lot of options. Here are my coats. Got lots of different coats, some fur coats, a gold coat, feeling real shiny. Over here I got my other coats and some vests. I like a lot of vests around. I'm a vest guy. I like lots of textures, different textures. Yeah, over here we got my accessories. You know, gotta keep water in your wardrobe, because if you got stuck in here, you'd have water. And a flashlight. So just some things you need laying around. Got my toys over here. I like playing with these, with like these bears, you know. I like playing with those. Got bubbles over here. Yeah. So yeah, that's my wardrobe. Actually, if you guys want me to see me put on some clothes, let's go. All right. So here's one of my outfits. This is my more casual outfit. But I'm never too casual. So here's one of my jackets. I've had it since I was a kid. I just don't like getting rid of it because it's one of my favorites. So anytime it's raining, I'm usually wearing this because it keeps it off my shoulders, and that's about it. So yeah, this is my going out jacket when it's raining. It's nice because I never have to hold up my arms. It just does it for me. So yeah. All right, this outfit is when I mow the lawn. You gotta stay safe. And then I wear pants and a jacket so I don't get sunburned. The sleeves are kind of short, so I kind of get a real tan right here, my hands and my wrists. So sometimes I wear long gloves, but I don't have those right now. I really like this jacket. I can like twirl in it. It has these like little things on them. I don't know if they're for, but probably just twirling. So when I'm mowing the lawn, I just like, wah! And they're really fun. Sometimes the birds kind of try to eat them because they think they're worms, but they're not. They're my jacket. So yeah, that's my mowing attire. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, you want to see something? My trophy. I come in here like every day to look at it, put this medal on, and I just wear it like that so I can just look at it. And yeah, and then this is my big trophy. I got it when I was 7. So it was my 7-year-old trophy. So I keep it in here so it doesn't get dusty. Keep it safe. So yeah, let's come on.
Wow, that was quite an amazing, I would say an amazing opportunity to see some of the way Crikey Camp Hammer Livin' looks in that episode 2. I'm curious, you've worked up here for quite some years now, Crazen. Have any of those jackets been used by you as you've been so many different characters at Camp Hammer?
Yes, you know, I can actually say probably the most frequently worn by me is also a very poor costume choice in the summertime. It is a very large fur coat that I've worn for, I believe I played a hamster when we were cab hosts at one point.
I remember.
Yes, and I played a bear just this past summer. So that is a spoiler if anyone was wondering, Gabby the bear. It was a poor costume choice. In the dead of summer.
I get the feeling they barely recognized you.
Oh, Barely.
I'll be here all night.
What about you, Eric? Have you, dabbled in the program closet? I'm sure after how many years has it been?
It's been 15 years as the camp director.
Quite some time.
It's been quite some time. I think probably they've been retired now after the back blew out of them. But I used to frequent a pair of pleather pants that Shasta would tell people if he tries to leave the lounge in them, make him change.
Wow.
I left the lounge a few times wearing pleather pants, you might say, over the years. But I was wondering, so that program closet is used for so many reasons. It's getting revealed a little bit more tonight, where campers might wonder where the costumes come from. And it's been stored away, many costumes over many years. Can you tell me, you were a camper here and you've been on staff here.
Yes.
Was there a favorite night game theme when you were a camper that you could tell me about?
I think it was when I was on staff. I want to say in 2013. That's my closest guess. But it was one of the most fun and creative themes that I've seen. And I think you've mentioned it a few times, but it was the when everyone got shrunken. Yes. And we were running around in the forest, and there was these huge, there was a huge pencil and huge glasses. And I actually can't remember the costume that we ran around in, but that's probably one of my favorite night games theme. But a costume I do recall running around in often in night games is one of my least favorite materials is burlap. And it's a common, a common usage for night game characters. It worked well for this past summer, which was Under the Sea. And, other summers we've been kind of like bandit characters and whatnot. So many, many, many fun and memorable costumes from that program closet.
Yeah, after a year like this, those specific burlaps would have to be retired because, secret's out, I don't know if they've ever been washed. So that won't be used again in the summers to come, but that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that is a great thing. That's good news for me.
Right? A little silver lining with that there. I think probably when I was a camper, we played a game that I don't know how they were able to do it, but what I remember is they would park this huge truck with hoses on the field. Wow. And as campers, our goal was to sneak past the truck with the flashlights. And if the flashlight could catch us, or if we got drenched with the hose, we had to go back to the start. And the goal was just to get past the lights or the hoses. And it was so scary. I remember as a camper, I sat next to a tree the entire game and watched all the campers get spotted with the flashlights and sprayed with the hoses. And I never, ever went on the field. I just stared like a deer in headlights thinking, what are they playing right now? And then when I came on staff, I remember saying, can we please play this game? It was amazing. And then I realized in my adult brain, oh wait, I never played the game. I just stared as my friends were sprayed down with hoses and played this crazy game. And so we would make games similar to it. And I think I always was like, oh, now I get to be the camper that I wanted to be, except now I get to spray the hoses. It was fun.
Yeah. A classic Friday night game.
Yeah. I think campers think they're always trying to figure out our night game theme. They're always wanting to know.
Yes.
And so often everyone's like, I know what Friday is. Do you know what Friday is? When it's night games, if you've been a camper before, do you know what Friday is? If you don't, you'll have to come back to camp next summer.
Yes.
To find out, because I can tell you this, it's gonna be really similar to previous Fridays.
Classic.
Well, Crazen, what do we have coming up here next?
Well, you know what? Something that is wonderful is that we have more campers who have chosen to share some things that they love. And we have 2 campers, actually. And both of their parents, I believe, worked here at Camp Hammer. Is that correct?
Oh, it is correct. You know, we have one of the campers is the daughter of Snipe, who worked for many, many years here. And the other camper is the daughter of Gabby, who also worked here, and both incredible people. Their daughters, from what I understand, the little background on this is their daughters danced together, and they had been training and preparing for their dance recitals. And then when all of the stuff with COVID happened, even though they had fully prepared and had all their costumes and were ready to go, like dialed in, suddenly things got postponed. But when I was hanging out with them at day use, here at Camp Hammer this summer, we have day use where you can come as a family and a household and just, you reserve it online, you come up for the day, you can take hikes, you can go to the pond, you can reserve the pool, you can order a lunch, you can play on the field. We even have disc golf right now going on. And so they both came up in their families and they were at the pond, and I was lifeguarding the pond. And it was actually their moms kind of talking to me about something that was challenging or disappointing for the girls. And they were just enjoying being out in the pond. But when the moms were talking about it, and I knew that Camp Out for Camp Hammer was going to happen, I was like, oh, do you think your daughters would do one of their dances for Camp Out for Camp Hammer? And of course, the moms are so enthusiastic because they've worked at Camp Hammer, and they're like, yes, of course they would. They would love to. And I thought, okay, these are moms talking right now, but what will their teenage daughters say? It was crazy. What was really special about it is almost the exact same energy, the positive vibes from these girls was equal, if not greater, than what their moms brought. It was like, I couldn't even ask them without them already saying yes before I had completed what I was asking. And it just shows this, like, from family members, from past staff to their children, coming to camp and being a part of Camp Hammer is something dear to them. And it matters so much to them that they get to come and experience something where they know their parents' lives grew and changed, and now their lives have grown and changed. And so they put together and videotape themselves doing one of their dances for us. And we want to share that with you guys right now. So thank you so much, Abby and Aubrey, for this dance.
You said there's something about the moon. It rose too soon. Are we doing what we should? You said it's life that moves too much. We're losing touch, but I'm not losing you. There's a whole lot of heart in me. I feel it under my skin. And I know, and I know, and I know. There's a whole lot of heart in me. It takes a whole lot of heart to see everything's coming down roses. And I know, and I know, and I know. There's a whole lot of heart in me. There's a whole lot of heart in me. I said, let's rule this kingdom now. Let's live in love and let's tear it down. To build it up. There's a whole lot of heart in me. I feel it under my
beautiful. I honestly shed like a tear. I shed like multiple tears because it was so beautiful. So thank you, gals, for doing that video for us. It was fantastic. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And it was so moving. So exciting news. We have our final results for the poll about the best cab music video hits. Now, it was pretty close, but we do have our winner. And we hope that you can shake it off because the winner is One Direction. Woo! All right, Uku, play the vid.
You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door. Don't need makeup to cover up. Being the way that you are is enough. Everyone else in the room can see it. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. So come on, you got it wrong. To prove I'm right, I'll put it in a song. I don't know why you're being shy and turn away when I look into your eyes. Everyone else in the room can see it. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know you're beautiful. Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
Wow, that was so cool. I saw one of my oldest friends, Zaza, and Truffle Hunter. They were like nose to nose, which is a no-nose. Now, you can't do that. That's why we wear these. But I was so excited. I love to see the old dancing. Woo! Gives me shivers like a cold front coming in from the east. But you know what? That was really exciting. It made me inspired. Like I want to do some of that dancing myself. So, I'm going to do that just now. And I invite all of you at home to get up on your feet and start moving around, maybe a little dynamite, and we're gonna light this place up. All right.
We hit terminus!
Get low when the whistle go. Get low when the whistle go.
Club in my taxi cab.
Wow. My glasses are fogging up. Got to take a quick break.
Some of you might have noticed that during that time we had one of our cameramen who have been so great at being on the other side of the camera made his way out to the dance floor. So that was, yes, you're right, Unky Munkle out on the dance floor.
Yes, that was very special.
That was a lot of fun having a dance party, and I apologize if the camera was shaky because that was me. It was so much fun. What you might have noticed throughout the night as we've been having the dance party is there's some people, some of the staff repping the Camp Hammer, some of the Camp Hammer clothing that we have for sale at our online store. In these times, some new things that have happened that are so great is that now you can get Camp Hammer merchandise at camphammer.com. You just kind of slide through the slides right when you pick up the website and click on the store, and you can get all the good things that we've got going on at the Camp Hammer store. So you can order those online, or you can also pick them up at the day use, or what happens on Friday and Saturday nights usually here, Crazen?
Well, great question, Eric. Usually here this summer at Camp Hammer on Fridays and Saturdays, we have movie nights, specifically movies on the field, which is such a fun tradition we have every summer on Tuesday nights. It's a time that we come together with our operational staff and our campers, and we're screening a huge movie on a big projector on the field. And in the summertime, it's to give the cabin leaders some fun time off to get to know each other. And that's always a sweet, sweet time for staff to get to know campers. But now it is available to families this summer and households to come up and enjoy that tradition. So
yeah, something that commonly has been asked to us is, what does it cost to do something like that? So for a family who signs up, a household with a maximum of 10 people, you can come up to camp. You'll given a spot on the field where there is a stump, and on that stump you'll find some popcorn made by us and the legendary Camp Hammer cookies for each and every one of you to enjoy during a movie. And coming up this Friday, actually, we have an incredible movie that we're showing, Cinderella, which is the Cinderella. There's many stories out there, but this one is Cinderella, where Brandy is Cinderella and her fairy godmother is the amazing Whitney Houston. The Queen is played by Whoopi Goldberg. It is just an all-star cast, and It is so amazing the way in which they did the story. It shows diversity. What I love so much about this specific Cinderella story is it also shows that talent doesn't fit in the fairy tale of how maybe one individual imagines Cinderella to be, but that the story or fairy tale of Cinderella is for all people to imagine what it would be like to be Cinderella or be one of those characters. And it's played out so beautifully. So that's this coming Friday. We just recommend that you go and sign up and take part in enjoying building a memory and putting a movie like this Cinderella with Brandy as Cinderella into your family's memories of the incredible tale of how a fairy tale is a fairy tale for all people to enjoy and imagine themselves as a character in the story. So we hope you'll join us for a movie night on the field, cookies, popcorn, amazing movies being screened up here at Camp Hammer this summer. So take a look on the website. You can sign up, and you can even come for a day use and stay on afterwards if it's a Friday or Saturday to watch a movie. And after you've enjoyed a lunch with us, you can stay and enjoy. We've had families come and they play some card games on the field, set up their blankets, their Tommy Bahamas. We have moms that have loved coming and just bringing a book and sitting under the redwoods reading. And you can order a pizza from us, and it's ready at 6:30, where you just pick it up and you don't even have to prepare dinner. You can order it with us and we have it ready for you. And then you stay on and enjoy an incredible movie. So we hope that you'll join us this next Friday on the 31st for Cinderella with Brandy as Cinderella, because it's going to be an amazing night that you don't want to miss.
Yes. And you know, Eric, aka Mossy, we have a pretty incredible kitchen manager here this summer who is new for Camp Hammer. But I heard, and I quote last week, a young boy that was with a family that came and stayed for day use and the movie, and I quote, said it was the best pizza he had ever had.
Wow.
So, and I have heard, and I quote, best potentially Camp Hammer, one of the best Camp Hammer cookies in a batch of so many amazing, obviously, legendary Camp Hammer cookies that have been made.
Legendary Camp Hammer cookies that the recipe is often kept a secret.
True.
To have a brand new food service manager come in and have such amazing compliments from not a parent, but from a child. And if you know cookies, if you know pizza, and if you remember what it was like to be a kid or you're a kid today, those are two things that the people who will be the most, maybe strongest critics about are going to be the young ones.
Yes.
And so that's quite the compliment to hear.
Yes.
And even our lunches, the wraps, I was lifeguarding at the pool and a young girl took a bite of her wrap and said, "Wow, this is the best food I've had in 2 months." The mom made sure to tell me she has been eating in the last 2 months, but it was so good. And they weren't even sure if she would like a wrap. But all a wrap is a sandwich using a tortilla. There's the secret, but it's so, so very good. So we hope you join us for some of the things we're doing this summer. It looks like right now we have our very last
section, part
of
showing
Camp Hammer Live-In, episode 3.
Episode 3.
I'm excited to see what Ryan, aka Crikey,
aka my
shows
husband.
us about camp right now.
It's going to be great.
All right, so over here we got my kitchen and pantry, where I keep all my food. So when I walk in the door, here's my dining table. I just eat most of my meals here. I got my sweet TV. It's bigger than the last one, but it's kind of high, so you can't look at it too much or it kind of hurts your neck. But yeah, so over here we got my breakfast rack. This is all I eat for breakfast. There's lots of peanut butter for protein. Yeah, and then some chips for snacking on. Over here we got in my freezer, we got some ice cream for desserts or just random snacking. Keep that there. We got my drink fountain, got lots of different sodas. Over here's all my stations. I got popcorn maker, nacho cheese maker, pretzel hanging on an oven thing. It warms it up. I don't know how, but it cooks the pretzels. Over here, my favorite one is snow cone maker. Sometimes you can put soda in it and make a slushie. This is my main source of heating up the food. All you have to do is heat it for 1 second and it's good to go. Over here's my pantry. So this is where I just keep all my extra food. And then the cups, anything you need is in here. So yeah, that's my pantry. Thanks for joining me on to show you around in this Camp Hammer Living. I hope I see you here on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday for day use. But yeah, I gotta go mow the lawn because it's not gonna mow itself. So I'll see you soon.
But I can't. All right. Ryan, aka Shimmy, really has it good over here at Camp Hammer. Oh, wow. Okay. I hope all of you guys are hanging in there with us. I hope your spirit is jumping and pumping, because I sure am pumped and sacked for what's going to happen later on in the night. Some of you may have already fallen asleep, and that's okay. You need your rest. I know I do after all that dancing. Woo-wee. In fact, brought myself a little pick-me-up. I can feel the vitamins coursing through my veins already. All right. So, we want to make sure your spirit is pumping up. You're really excited. And we got something really fun, a really cool announcement. We took a poll earlier after the dance-off. It was a once-in-a-lifetime, one-time event. Camp Hammer history. We had a tie during the dance-off, and we all know, some of you do or some of you don't, that we get to poll a staff member that we get to pie. And so we took a poll, and the polls are in. Wait, this just in. Oh, we got the readings. Guess what? I know who the winners are. I guess they're winners for you who polled. Maybe not for the people who are about to get a pie in their eye, but they're gonna plant themselves over there and they're gonna pie themselves in the face. And it's gonna be great, and you guys are gonna cheer because you're like, yeah, I voted for them. Maybe you didn't vote for them, but you still get to see someone pie tonight. So I'm really excited for that. So without further ado, let's do a little drum roll. You at home, tap on your lap, tap on the floor, bang a pom pan. The winners of the pie in the eye is Mossy and Camp. All right, those are the winners, and they are gonna walk on over here. We're gonna do a little live pieing right now. And this is just gonna be great. This is gonna be like a winter storm coming in from the northern Alaskan front, bringing wild Alaska right to their face. And it's gonna be cold, and it's gonna be unpleasant. But they're gonna get through it, and they're gonna love it. Here they go. All right, and there is a little saying we have before someone gets pied. It is up through the hair. Up the nose and through the hair. Up the nose and through the hair. Oh, look at them, they got pied. Oh. There we go, that looks great. Good look.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyler, aka Shimmy, for that great hype up and lead into our pie in the eye, if you will. So while they clean up, man, I hope that everyone is just enjoying this Camp Out for Camp Hammer tonight. And I just want to remind everybody that there is still time to donate. And if you haven't already, you text a friend. Let them know that you're tuning in, or text a family member that you haven't yet. Share pictures. You also, if you wanted to, you could, email us some photos. You could be checking out our online store. You could be sharing Camp Hammer memories. We are so happy that we get to do this tonight, and that we get to share some specialness of summer, something that we obviously all miss dearly this year. And so we're so happy to have you guys tuning in with us tonight. And we really do hope to see you next year. And so we're hoping that all of this that we're doing is in the hopes that we will see all of your faces next year. And we know that God is faithful, and we know that God is good. And so we look forward to the future. And we're so grateful and blessed that God's grace allowed us to do this here and now. So amidst all the silliness of CH 1965 Camp Hammer News Network, we're really grateful for you and for a really good God. And so with all of that said, Eric, aka Mossy, is back with us from the Pie in the Face scenario, if you will. So, hello, Eric, and welcome back. You're looking great. Minimal shaving cream left on your face, so you cleaned up well.
Thank you so much. I'm used to being bald, but I'm not used to just leaving shaving cream sitting around on my head, especially while live on video. But we have new things happening all the time these days now, don't we? I can't really hear in my left ear, but I have a feeling that's because it's plugged with shaving cream.
Yeah, I can speak louder for you if you'd like. Okay, looks a little more clean. All right.
Excellent. Wow, quite the experience to have kelp actually get pied in the face.
Yes.
Some people may know this, but some may not, that kelp is in the a little less than a month away from getting married to Ukuhamba.
That's right.
So to pie my eldest daughter in the face prior to marriage, I feel like that's just something that only happens at Camp Hammer.
Truly, tradition.
Tradition.
Yes.
Uku is next at some point, but that'll be at a different time. It's been an incredible night. I think you've mentioned some of it, that it's really special to be hanging out with everyone. I think sometimes people try to put into words when we have families hanging out with us, or past alumni or campers. We receive so many emails when I had to make a video to communicate to everyone that we had to cancel our summer programs. It wasn't easy to make the announcement. It wasn't easy to make the video at all. And the response was overwhelming from so many families. So many parents have told us that their kids heard about school, spring break being extended and then not going back to school, and campers missing out on different parts of the regular. But when they got the announcement about Camp Hammer, a lot of parents told us that that was the part that was so devastating for them. And I think for all of us, there's that feeling. But that's what Camp Out for Camp Hammer is about, is remembering that there is this place that is so special. That it is hard to imagine a summer without it. So I have learned from a pastor at Twin Lakes, Valerie Webb, that if I try to bite down or smile, that keeps you from crying in front of people when you're trying to talk. It never works for me because my chin quivers, so I will move forward and keep talking. But I think the special part of camp is that people come up here a certain way. Whether that is a child or an adult. And if it's a parent who sends their child when their child comes back from being at camp for a week, we hear about how there is something different. Or staff that have worked at Camp Hammer share about this summer, whether it was 1 or it was 6, or they continue to come back and now their children attend camp. I think the part that is special is not the gimmicks. There's the goofiness. I think there's something about this place where people want to just be able to be who they are. And this summer, our theme is actually look and be seen. And I think more about being seen by other people for who you are. It's knowing that God sees you just how you are. And when we look into knowing God more, we get a chance to understand who we are a little bit more. And so when campers or adults come here, something about being away lets them know that they're seen and valuable. And so as we push forward to help camp continue to be a sustaining space where God's love is known for all people, we do gimmicks like a shaving cream pie in the face. We do goofy characters. We work hard to create something like Camp Out for Camp Hammer, because we want Camp Hammer to be a place that's around long after any of us here today are even alive. Because the people that started Camp Hammer decided that this was a special space where God's love would be known. And so Camp Out for Camp Hammer is a way for us to help that happen. Many of you participating already have donated and helped Camp Hammer so much. And we're so grateful. Many of you campers, if you sent in a video, we are so grateful. If you're camping out, if your parents told you this was a special place and you're only 4 and you've already fallen asleep, we are grateful that you put a tent into your living room or backyard and participated with this. We still have some special things to come tonight, though. And Crazen, can you tell us a little bit more of what's coming?
Yes, thank you for sharing, Eric, aka Mossy. Coming up is another tradition that we have at camp, something that is so special, and another thing that we here at Camp Hammer put together for you so that you could continue to experience the magic of summer and what Camp Hammer is. And we here at Camp Hammer that are working here right now have put together a never before seen music video to show you. And remember, like Mossy said, this is for you, and this is because we appreciate you, and we want to continue to keep the magic of this place alive. So we hope that you enjoy this. A lot of work went into it and a lot of fun. So we hope that you have fun watching this music video that Uku is going to show us. And thank you again for being here.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Gorgeous, make them drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Stay in the kitchen cooking up, got your own bread. Heart full of equity, you're an asset. Make sure that you don't need no mentions. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Shout out to your mom and dad for making you. Standing ovation, they did a great job raising you. When I create, you're my muse. The kind of smile that makes the news. Can't nobody throw shade on your name in these streets. Triple threat, you a boss, you a bank, you a beast. You make it easy to choose. You got a mean touch, I can't refuse. No, I can't refuse it. Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Gorgeous, make them drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Stay in the kitchen cooking up, got your own bread. Heart full of equity, you're an asset. Make sure that you don't need no mentions. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Already passed, you don't need no approval. Good everywhere, don't worry about no refusal. Second to none, you got the upper hand now. Don't need a sponsor, no, you're the brand now. You're my rock, my Colorado. Got that ring, just like Toronto. Love you now, let 'em on tomorrow. That's how I feel, act like you know that you are. Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Gorgeous, make 'em drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Stay in the kitchen cooking up, got your own bread. Heart full of equity, you're an asset. Make sure that you don't need no mentions. Yeah, these are my only intentions.
No cap, no pretending, you don't need mentions. Got them saying goals, they don't wanna be independent. Tell them to mind your business, we in our feelings. It's 50% attention, we need commitment. We gotta both admit it. It's funny we both listen. It's a blessing, cause we both get it. You the best thing, and I don't need a witness. I'ma find me a ring and pray it's perfect fitted. Perfect.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Gorgeous, make 'em drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. I will. Yeah, these are my only intentions. Stay in the kitchen cooking up, got your own bread. Heart full of equity, you're an asset. Make sure that you don't need no mentions. Yeah, these are my only intentions.
Hello and welcome back. Wow, that was a treat.
Yeah, that music video, I have to say, having been here for so many years, I think we were talking about it. It's one of our favorite, if not our favorite music video. It was so well done.
Very well done.
The work of it was done by our very own Samara, aka Maraca. So if wherever you are, giving a little hoot, a holler, a high five, social distance air high five to the people to your left, to your right, and cheering as loud as you can, because what an amazing gift to have such a fun music video. I had a lot of fun with that. If you noticed, I was dancing with my future son-in-law, Ukuhamba.
The hair flip was a good touch.
We've got it recorded that Ukuhamba, although he's commonly the DJ, everyone knows he can dance. Well, tonight, as we are starting to wrap up our time together, we want to, as we said before, we are so grateful. And we thank you guys so much for being with us. Something that commonly happens at Camp Hammer that has been a tradition, as far as I know, from before the time I was a camper, which would have been back in the mid-'80s, and all the way through all the years that I've been here. On Friday nights, we have a campfire where we gather down at the fire circle. And during that time, the speaker shares for a short time, and then our worship leader will share some time of music with us. And campers go around and share a highlight from their week, a highlight from something they learned or that they're grateful for. Maybe it's a friend that they made, a staff member. I think the kitchen, at least at Camp Hammer, I feel like the kitchen, it gets props. Like probably 75% of the gratitude goes out to the kitchen, which is awesome because the food is amazing up here. But I think what's also really cool is hearing the gratitude spoken about the different lessons they learned about God and the lessons they learned about themselves. And that's what I love about our campfire when we close off the week. I know for me, I am grateful for all of my staff that helped put this together. So Crazen, to you, and to Ukuhamba, and to Crikey, and Shishiadoshi, and to Shimmy, and Shibuya, and Fresh Prince, and Shasta, and Kelp, and Maraca, and Twig, and Birdie, and Unky Munkle. I am grateful because without you guys, this wouldn't have happened. And I am so glad that we hold a memory in this unique time of our lives that will be with us forever. That, I had grandparents that would speak of the Great Depression, and they would tell me stories. And I have aunts that will eat popcorn with mustard because they had a mom who would serve popcorn with mustard because she remembered eating it with mustard to just have some flavoring on her popcorn when they had no salt or seasoning. And they passed those on to me as a kid. And I know for myself that during a time of a pandemic and a time when summer camp didn't look the same at Camp Hammer, I will hold dear to me the memories of putting together a camp out for Camp Hammer and the people that were with me in that. And that's each and every one of you guys and the names that were mentioned. And for all of you at your homes, wherever you are, some of you, even past staff that might be working right now and tuning in to catch a little bit of Camp Out for Camp Hammer. I'm grateful for all of you. But most importantly, I'm grateful that God lets there be a place like Camp Hammer for us all to come and grow and be seen a little bit more as we look in and see God a little more clearly in an open space like Camp Hammer. Crazen, what are you grateful for as we close out the night?
I am so grateful for places like Camp Hammer. Camp Hammer specifically because, as you mentioned, kind of at different times throughout the night, I was a camper here and staff member for a long time, and then had the privilege now of being a director. And Camp Hammer has been a special place in my life for, I don't know, 14 years, including being a camper. And I think, similarly, I'm so grateful that God, even though there aren't campers here, that physically, that God's grace allows us to continue to meet campers where they're at. And I experienced that as a camper. And then now that I get to be a part of that as a staff member is really, really a gift and really special. And so I am very grateful for the ways that God has moved at Camp Hammer, and I know will continue to move. So I'm very grateful for that.
I love that. As we finish out the night, we would love, if you haven't already, we hope that you'll take opportunities, if you have taken photos of your time together or what kind of space you are in and how you're experiencing Camp Out for Camp Hammer, that you would post that on social media. If you have Facebook, if you have Instagram, or if you don't and you had some photos, we would love to see them, and you can send them to office@camphammer.com. But if you make sure to tag Camp Hammer in your photos, or hashtag Camp Hammer, or anything like that, it lets us have an opportunity to see it. And if you tag us, we can share it onto the Camp Hammer story. And we would just love to know how you participated with us. You can also just email us and share with us, because we want to know. It matters to us. You matter to us. We will be giving you guys an update tomorrow on how much we raise through this fundraiser of Camp Out for Camp Hammer. So be looking for that. We will email out, but we'll also post it on Instagram as we kind of dial it together and figure out the different donations that came in through the night. And other things to come, we will be posting the music video you just saw. That'll be put on our YouTube channel. You go to YouTube and you can just put in Camp Hammer, and it takes you to all the old videos, music videos that you guys voted on. You can go watch the ones that weren't played tonight. You can watch them into the evening if you are older, or if you're staying awake and want to stay kind of, there's a great, Camp Hammer's YouTube channel is a great way to YouTube binge if you wanted to just watch a whole bunch of fun videos of the past here at Camp Hammer. But right now, as we close off the night, our worship leader from last summer, Asada, aka Picardy, put together some songs, campfire songs, to share with you as we close the evening. So if you're a family together, if you're young, even if you're old, wherever you're at, kind of tuck in, maybe cuddle up next to someone, or social distance if you need to. But we hope that you'll enjoy this evening. We're going to be signing off here and closing with some campfire songs for you to enjoy from Asada, aka Picardy. We love you all, and we're so grateful for each and every one of you. Hope you had a great night. Take care.
Hey campers and families and supporters of Camp Hammer. I hope that you are enjoying Camp Out for Camp Hammer. If you don't know me, my name is Asada, aka Picardy. That is my camp name. And I'm going to be leading you all in some worship today. So we're going to be singing two songs. The first song is Your Love is Strong by John Foreman. And it's just a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer, and just a really great song to sing along with your family and just glorify God and his creation, and just all of the grace that he shows to us. And then the second song is going to be Build My Life, which is just a prayer that welcomes God into our hearts and into our midst, and just basically asking him to guide us through these times. So if you'll join me, we're going to go ahead and get into some worship and just sing along.
mind.